Fantasy football family, what's going on? We're back off the line fantasy football podcast. This is one of your hosts, Eugene. You can find me on Twitter at Fantasy Genes. That's Genes. Hopefully, y'all missed us. We were out last week, just chilling, relaxing, getting ready for the Super Bowl. And this week we'll hit y'all hard with a lot of bets slash props. The Super Bowl brings on a whole bunch of fun little things you can bet on. So we'll hit on a lot of those tonight on this show. To the other host of the show, Ike, what's going on? How you feeling? Super Bowl is here finally.
Yeah, man. Yeah, finally. 20 long weeks, man. We're finally here, and I'm excited for this game. It's Burrow versus Stafford, Rams, Bengals. Like it's gonna be a show, man. A lot of offensive firepower. Odell Beckham's in the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow's in the Super Bowl for his second, in his second season. A lot of storylines, a lot of narratives, man. Like I'm ready to get it rocking and rolling, man. It's gonna be a dope ass game. I feel like.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a good one for sure. You got
Real quick.
yeah.
You can also follow me on Twitter at just_Ico9. And hey, we've been off for 2 weeks, so we're kind of rusty, right? We're kind of rusty, trying to get back in the swing of things.
That's true.
Also follow the show on Twitter at Off the Line FF. So yeah, man. Let's get this shit rocking and rolling, man. It's gonna be a dope game.
Yeah, just previewing the matchup itself. You got the Bengals coach who used to coach under McVay, so he knows how the offense kind of wants to operate, and then obviously uh, that it's going to be a good matchup. It's going to be interesting how the Bengals defense plays the Rams offense because obviously they know each other well. You got 2 weeks to prepare. One matchup for sure that should be interesting is the O line for the Bengals versus the Rams D line. Obviously, everybody's going to already assume that they're just going to be out there. Eric Donald, you got your boy Von Miller, Leonard Floyd. We're already assuming that they're going to be in that backfield having a whole party at home. So,
Yeah.
what kind of things are you kind of looking forward to for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, and to kind of touch on that, the offensive line matchup, it's honestly the Bengals. They've been overmatched. Offensive line, their offensive line's been overmatched the entire playoffs. The Raiders, with Max Crosby wreaking havoc. The Tennessee Titans, they had 9 sacks. The Kansas City D line with Melvin Ingram and Chris Jones and all those guys, like they put some pressure on Joe Burrow. And and this should be no different, right? They should have their fair share of problems with Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, and all those guys. So and they still found a way to win games, which is crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
They've had a pretty good game plan. Kind of getting the ball out of Joe Burrow's hands, pretty quickly. Understanding the offensive line's limitations and pass protection. They are a little bit better in run blocking than they are in pass protection, but just kind of piggyback on that off that point, they've been mismatched. It's been a mismatch all throughout the playoffs, and that hasn't stopped them from reaching the Super Bowl. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But one matchup in particular that I'm looking at is the big one, Jamar Chase versus Jalen Ramsey. We're gonna have to. I mean, now we know that we haven't seen Ramsey travel that often throughout the season. He's usually on one side, so
Yep.
he may avoid Jamar Chase, or Jamar Chase may avoid Ramsey throughout the game, and maybe in just higher leverage situations, crunch time, fourth
Yeah.
quarter, money downs, whatever the case may be, they may stick Ramsey on Chase, and I'm interested in seeing what that matchup entails. It's gonna be a really good one, honestly. But I honestly feel like there's an opportunity. And we'll touch on these props a little bit later on, but there's an opportunity for Tee Higgins later, in the game with all the attention that Jamar Chase is going to command. I think there's going to be some opportunities for Tee Higgins to eat. So, but we'll touch on some of those a little bit later on in the show.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you once you got into the Ramsey bit. I know he's already come out in the media and say, "Hey, I want them to put me on the best guy on the other side." But I mean, it's cool to say, but we've seen how y'all have operated. I mean, specifically in the playoffs, you haven't really been following nobody. y'all been sitting in y'all shell of a zone. So uh,
Yeah.
we'll
Whatever's
see
been
what
working
they
for
do.
them, yeah,
Yeah,
whatever's been working for them, throughout the course of the playoffs has been working. But there's been times where he decides to to track the number one receiver. So we'll see if that's the case in this game.
yeah. So for like Burrow and Stafford, for me, I mean, overall in the playoffs, he's been all right. I mean, if you really look at the stats, I mean, if you look at the Las Vegas game, he was all right. He found a way. I mean, they played well in the basically in the first half. He played better than that second half, and they just kind of held on. The Tennessee game, obviously, we saw he aired it out a lot more because, uh, I mean, that ended up turning into. Uh, I wouldn't say a shootout, but they were able to expose Tennessee's defense, and obviously because of them being down and him being on the ground on his back a lot that game. So he
It
threw
was a
for
quick
what
quick
almost
passing
three,
game.
yeah, almost 350 yards that game, and then
Yeah.
KC again he was just I mean he was fine in terms of managing, even though trying to figure out a way to win, which they did. Uh, so I mean he's been averaging around 275 ish yards. So I mean the Super Bowl I expect them to probably do the same. Try to get the ball out quick, not to put him in long down and distance on third. Just kind of managing the game, give some carries to Mixon. I know Mixon he's been carrying the ball a little bit more in the playoffs than he's had during the season. And then for Stafford, they've we've seen Stafford get out of his Detroit funk a little bit
Yeah.
in terms
Yeah.
of playing wise. We did see him throw an egregious interception last week, but overall he's been really good in the playoffs. So
Yeah, he's been pretty solid.
I,
He only had one interception, I think, going into the NFC Championship game. I think one
yep,
interception, or
yep.
yeah. So yeah, he's been
Uh,
pretty solid.
yeah. So I mean, for me, I expect the same for him. I expect him to. I expect the Rams to be able to find a way to expose that defense. So that's just some of the things I'm wanting to see or expecting to see from the quarterbacks. You have anything uh, specific that you on the quarterback side that you're looking towards?
No, I mean it's just kind of some of the points that we've already touched on. Joe Burrow is going to have to get the ball out of his hands pretty quickly, and I think we'll see more of that in this game. He'll have to try to do his best to get past that pass rush of the Rams. So they continue to do their same game plan or similar game plans that they have that they've been doing over the last several games. I think they have a good shot at winning, because the Rams defense can be had as well. They
Yeah,
Cincinnati definitely has the talent. I mean, they have three pretty damn good receivers. Higgins, Chase, and Boyd. I mean, honestly, like I think the sky's the limit for that offense in this game. And CJ Uzama, he might play as well, so he may be a factor down the seam. He did.
yeah,
I don't know if you saw the video the other day where
I
he
saw
walked
it.
on he walked on the stage, ripped off his knee brace,
Yeah, but
and
he was
threw
still
it.
he was still he was still
He was
walking
still
very
ginger.
gingerly.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be funny if he just like he was questionable going into the game and then he's inactive? That'd be
Yeah, I
crazy.
know. or
Doing all
or the
those
other way,
theatrics and being
or the
being
other
active.
way around. That you're a wrestling fan, so I know you remember the one. I can't remember what wrestler it was where he pretend he was on the wheelchair and
Oh,
then he
Kevin
had that
Nash.
leg
Yeah.
propped up. Yeah, Kevin
Yep.
Nash.
Yeah. That was yeah. That's exactly what I thought of when I saw him do that.
But
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned Uzama may be playing. It doesn't look like Higbee's going to be playing. So we might see
Yeah.
that tight end Blanton for the Rams. He might be a surprise and do some work. I know we saw him. He had a few catches 2 weeks ago versus San Fran. Cincinnati, the middle of their defense can be definitely had. I think they had gave up 96 receptions to tight ends, which was the fourth worst in the league.
Yeah.
So that might be a matchup to exploit on top of throwing the OBJ and Cooper Kupp. You already know they're gonna be target hogs. So hopefully
Yeah.
the Bengals buckle up and be ready for that.
Yeah, Waller had success in the first game, the first playoff game, and then
Yep.
Travis Kelce caught a touchdown in the AFC Championship game. So yeah, they're
Yeah.
to your point, they can be had over the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. You got anything else before we get to to the meat and the potatoes of this?
So the meat and potatoes, man. No, I mean the running games. I mean, one thing to kind of keep an eye on is Darrell Henderson may have a chance to play this week,
I did
and
see that.
that could throw a wrench into Sony Michel and Cam Akers' workload. So that's something to monitor. I I'm honestly like not too confident in either running game, to be quite honest. But
Yeah. Yeah.
but we'll see how that unfolds as the days go on. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I have for the most part.
Yeah, maybe if Henderson's active, maybe it gives them a boost on their running end because the Rams run offense overall during the playoffs has not really been good. I know we've been hyped up of seeing Akers out there, but overall, him and Michelle really haven't been effective at all. I think they're barely over three yards of carry combined for the playoffs. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah. Cam Akers is only averaging, and I saw the number here somewhere. He's only averaging 2.4 yards per carry since returning from injury. So
Yeesh.
it's pretty egregious.
Yeah.
And his highest rushing total has only been 55 yards. So
Mm,
I don't want to bury
um,
the lead with which
yeah.
direction I'm going to go
Yeah.
later on with some of these props, but we'll
Yeah.
save that for later.
All right, so yeah, let's get into it. This game is a 4-point favorite for the Rams at home, and it's an over under of 48 and a half. I haven't really found a direction of where I want to go yet.
I have.
I mean, for me, if anything, I know I'm gonna go money line Rams. I think the Rams are gonna win. For sure, we'll hit money line, but I'm not sure if I want to touch the -4. Maybe I might buy it down or whatnot. What were you saying?
Well, I have a direction that I'm going. I feel like the Bengals are going to win the game. I think the Bengals are going to win the Super
Hmm.
Bowl, and
Okay.
I'm going all in on the Bengals money line because
Ooh. Okay.
this is the last game of the season, right? I mean, this is where all the bets that you could possibly make, it's all been coming down to this moment, and it's balls to the wall, go hard, go home. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, like
Yeah.
you're gonna have spread for me. When it comes to the Super Bowl, all spreads are out the window. It's either who's going to win the game, who's going to lose the game, and
Yeah.
who do you feel confident in winning, and who do you feel more confident in? I feel like there's going to be a lot of pressure on Stafford and the Rams to win the biggest game of their lives at home in
At
their home
home.
stadium.
Yep.
Um, and the Bengals, they've just been playing with house money since since the playoffs started. So after
Yeah.
they beat the Raiders, they've been playing with house money. They've been underdogs in both of the games since then. The underdogs in this game. And they just keep finding ways to win the games. So
That's
I
true.
feel like the Bengals will somehow find a way to win this game. And I'm taking, at least for my side, I'm taking the Bengals money line. I don't really
Okay.
have much on the total. The total can go either way. I would lean towards the under because I
Yeah.
just feel like there's going to be less scoring than we're anticipating. I know there's a lot of offensive firepower on both sides, but for the most part, I think the defenses will settle in. Cincinnati's defense has been playing lights out the entire playoffs, and the
Yeah.
Rams defense is been pretty solid as well. So I think this may be a lower scoring game. If I were to take a side on the total, I'd go under. But
Okay.
that's just me.
Okay, so let's hit props before we get on to our fun bets for the Super Bowl. So for me, I wanted to go Joe Mixon over 22 and a half receiving yards. He's averaging 43 yards over the last five, and then in the playoffs he's averaged four receptions for about 35 yards. Which and then his lowest total in the playoffs has been 27 yards. I like this because I don't if even if Uzama plays, I don't think he's really going to do much. I mean, I almost lean towards it. I don't think we're going to really see him honestly. But I think 22 and a half receiving yards for Mixon is a little low for I think for a team that's going to want to try to control the ball a little bit and not expose uh, uh, Joey B too much, Joe Shiesty too much. So you quick dump offs and whatnot to your wide receivers and Mixon is definitely what I'm looking for. My next one is Jamar Chase over 3.5 rush yards. In the playoffs, he's had 5 carries for 28 yards. And like you said before, this is the last game of the season. I think you're going to want to do anything and everything you can to get your best playmaker the ball, which is Jamar Chase. So I think they'll probably give him a couple carries, give him an end around, go get some yards real quick. And I think he'll be able to get over the 3.5. And then my last one is, your boy Matt Stafford over half an interception. Uh, Luckily, I mean, one thing that is on my side is that Cincinnati has picked off every quarterback they played in the playoffs. And then, we didn't see Matt Stafford throw a pick in the first 2 playoff games, but we did see him throw one in that last one. So for me, I feel like we'll see the Detroit Stafford for that one play, and that one play is gonna be a pick. So uh, those are some of my favorite props. And then when you get on yours, I mean, some of the ones that you picked, I also thought about I was gonna pick too. So I'll let you go
Yeah.
ahead and take it from there.
Yeah, just real quick on the Stafford, the Stafford interceptions. Um, I feel like since this is such a high pressure game, both quarterbacks may be kind of jittery. You may see like some overthrown passes and early on in the game. If I were to bet any on interception happening, I would bet on the interception happening in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Because these quarterbacks will come out kind of nervous, kind of jittery, and things like that. So or you may have like a batted ball or tip pass here and there. So I definitely like that prop. I like an interception for both quarterbacks, to be quite honest. But
Yeah.
we'll touch on that a little bit later though.
Yeah.
So for my props, I have my first one is speaking of Matthew Stafford. My first prop is Matthew Stafford over 4.5 rush yards. Shout out to Ray GQ. He's always betting on a quarterback rushing yard props on a weekly basis. But I think
Mhm.
this one is just pretty much easy money. Matthew Stafford has pretty much gone over this number, every single game in the playoffs. He had 22 versus Arizona. You can kind of call that an anomaly. That's fine. But he had 8 versus the 49ers, and then he had 6 versus Tampa Bay. And Cincinnati's given up at least 10 plus yards to quarterbacks in each game in this playoffs.
Okay.
So I think Matthew Stafford will definitely get over that number fairly easily, maybe 7, 8, 9 yards. Scramble here, scramble there. The only thing that we do need to worry about a little bit is potential kneel downs at the end of the game.
Yeah.
If they're up and they're just still sealing the game or whatever, you may need to worry about
Guaranteed.
that. Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
say that. It's not guaranteed. But we'll see. And then my next one is so my next prop is Odell Beckham over 5 catches.
Yeah, I
He's
like
been
that one.
pretty involved in the offense over the last couple of games. He's had 9 catches and then he had 6 catches in the previous 2 games. His offense, his role in the offense is growing. He's super hungry. He's gonna get fed the ball. I feel like Matthew Stafford and that Rams passing attack. I mean, and it's Cooper Kupp and it's Odell Beckham. That they
Yeah.
funnel the passing game through 2 players. That's what you like to see. 5 catches feels pretty low and pretty low for him. So I think
Yeah.
he gets at least 6 or 7 in this game alone. And then my next prop is Cam Akers under 65.5 rushing yards. I did when I put this in, it actually went down to 57.5, and mainly because of
Mm.
the reasons that we touched on earlier in the show. Cam Akers has not, I guess he lacks a little bit of explosiveness since coming back from that injury. Just being rushed back. It's great to see him on the field, but he doesn't look like the same Cam Akers that we saw last year. Only
Yeah.
averaging 2.4 yards per carry since coming back. And as we mentioned, his highest rushing total over the last 4 games he's been back has only been 55. So I feel confident still, even though the numbers come down almost 10 yards, I still feel confident in that under 57.5 number. If I
But
were to take it.
just one note about that, he's still trying to get used to live action, getting hit, trying to read the blocks or whatnot. So I mean,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
also part of that also is the rush. I mean, the O line in the has not been good run blocking in the playoffs either. So
Yeah.
just one thing to note. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and then also there's a potential Daryl Henderson returning from his knee injury, so that's another factor that could drive down
Yep.
his rushing total. So
Yep.
under Cam Akers, over OBJ, and over Matthew Stafford, 4.5 rush yards, and then finally I have kind of like a 2-pack here, and it's Tee Higgins, over 8 targets. He's seen at least I think he has 19 targets over his last 2 games, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he has 19 targets over his last 2 games. So he's more and more involved in the offense. Whenever the playoffs started, he only had that. I think he had like I think like 4 targets against the Raiders, only 10 receiving yards. So he wasn't involved, but Tennessee, he kind of picked it up, and then the AFC Championship game, he had a lot of clutch third down catches, especially late in the game. So he's going to. I feel like he's going to have a lot of targets, and then the same thing. I also have him over 65 and a half reception yards. He's had 96 yards and 103 yards over his last 2 games. So he's going to. I feel like seeing over 8 targets, I think he should easily hit that 65 and a half number.
Yeah, and these are both props that I also had marked down on my list too. So I definitely
Yeah.
like both of those for T Higgins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we get to the specialty props uh, or bets that we like to play for the Super Bowl. I don't know if you just want to kind of go one by one, or we talk about the ones that we picked and just kind of go down the list. Cause I mean we got a lot of them. So uh,
Yeah. Do you want to do the ones from Bovada, or do you want to do the ones from like just the bets, like the Super Bowl MVP, coin toss,
uh,
like what?
we'll just go down the list and we'll just go down the list. Let's just do that. All right. So the first one I listed down was Super Bowl MVP. And like he said before, but like we've always said, like in Texas, we don't really have a sports book, but there's always ways around it. One of them being Bovada. So Bovada, they got a bunch of different specialty props for the Super Bowl that they always put out. And then we took some of those and just wanted to just lay them out there. Just could be something for wherever you're listening to. Maybe you got a sports book in your state, and you can just find those and play them if you want to.
Like
So.
FanDuel, DraftKings, sportsbooks, anywhere. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so my first one was the Super Bowl MVP. Some of the odds that I liked was they had Cooper Kupp for plus 600. I think that's a really solid one, um, especially because I think that the Rams are going to win. So I wanted to make sure I hit on a couple players that I think that might hit on their side. I also like the Stafford plus 125. Obviously, that's quarterbacks are going to be easy. But I'm picking the quarterback on the winning side. I did pick Chase plus 1,500 because you never know. Chase might have one of them games. So
One of those nuclear games.
yeah, he's liable. And then my last one was Jalen Ramsey. So the one behind this is that you hear him talking about how he wants to guard Chase, and like Ike has stated that we're kind of looking for not a really high scoring game. So there's always a chance for a defensive player to kind of sneak up in there if your quarterbacks don't do too much, and maybe Ramsey might sneak up in there and get 2 interceptions and return one of them for a touchdown. You never know. So I just wanted to probably pick my highest probability of a player that might get it. I mean, obviously you might pick like Aaron Donald wrecking havoc in the backfield, but I wanted to pick Ramsey because his odds were a little bit higher. So
Yeah. Yeah. The one that I want to highlight, it's not a Super Bowl bet if you're not betting the coin toss, right? So you got it. You gotta bet the coin toss every single year. But just a little history on the coin toss since 2008, heads has hit 8 times and tails has hit 5 times. And within that, heads has hit 5 straight from 2008 to 2012, and tails has hit 4 straight from 2013 to 2016. But recent history shows that heads has hit 2 out of the last 3. So basically, the trend has been heads, tails, and then heads. Heads was last year. My lean is towards heads. I mean, and both of the odds are minus 105, so you're not really getting a ton of juice for each of these. You're getting close to even money. for each of these for either heads or tails. But overall, the history is 29 to 26 tails, and I think heads is it's going to start making a little bit of a run here here over the next several years, starting with this year and last year. So I'm leaning towards heads for the Super Bowl coin toss.
Okay. I like that. I know that's one that I also marked down. And you definitely can't do a Super Bowl without doing that coin toss.
Yeah.
Uh, one I picked was the halftime show. Uh, the bet was, is Snoop Dogg gonna be smoking on stage during the performance? I, the yes was even money, and then no was minus 130. So definitely, I'm gonna hit that yes, because he's in California, and Super Bowls, performances, you never know what you're gonna see when somebody's performing, and you
Yeah.
never know with somebody like Snoop Dogg. So that was one I wanted to touch on for sure.
Yeah, and then just real quick, just kind of circling back on the coin toss, the team that's won the coin toss has lost 7 straight games. Um,
Oh shoot!
they've lost 7 straight games, and if you go all the way back to the Patriots and Seahawks Super Bowl, the all-time series was tied 24-24, and so basically every team that's won the coin toss since then has lost the game. So
Oh dang! Okay.
um, and so
Well,
the team that wins the coin toss win the game? Uh, I'm gonna go with no. I'm gonna until they show us otherwise, right? I mean, it's 7 in a row, so I don't see this changing anytime soon. So just
well,
keep
I
an
know
eye
what
on
I'm gonna
whoever
do.
loses.
Yeah, I know what I'm gonna do. As soon as I see whoever wins that coin toss, I know where I'm gonna be hammering my money on the money line.
Money
It's gonna be
line
going out.
live. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
gonna be going that other way.
Pound it live. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh man. Another one for a halftime show was, will a football be used as a prop? I think I'm definitely gonna play this one. This one was a plus 290 if yes. So uh
Really?
yeah, so I'm gonna be dabbling in that one also.
Okay. Yeah, I might have to go ahead and lock that one in myself.
All right, what you got?
So and then we can go, and then these are more on the player side. These are just kind of special bets on Bovada that we saw. Um, one, just kind of piggybacking off of my T Higgins bet. Um, I have him, over 100 yards and scoring a touchdown at plus 500. I feel like this is going to be a T Higgins game. He's going to be more involved in the offense. They're going to be paying a lot more attention to Jamar Chase, and they may put Ramsey on him, or have safety help over the top, and leaving T Higgins to kind of operate one on one with the second string corner. And I think he's going to have a pretty big game. So over 100 yards and a touchdown plus 500. I'm gonna hammer that. Definitely hammer that.
Yeah, I
Eh,
like that one. I like
yeah,
that one.
yeah, just plus 500, man. That's those are some pretty damn good odds, man. So
Yeah.
and if you're not confident in the yards, he's plus 150 to score a touchdown, and that's still some juice too. So
Yeah.
that's just something else to think about if you're going to be betting on T Higgins, or if you're confident in T Higgins in any way, shape, or form. And just really quick, both quarterbacks to throw an interception plus 150. These quarterback props, these quarterback interception props. I mean, these have been kind of smashing throughout the playoffs. Again, this is a Super Bowl. You're going to see turnovers. You're not going to see perfect football. You're going to see a lot of
Yep.
a lot of nervousness, a lot of butterflies. People are going to get you're going to have some errant throws, and there's going to be chances for the defense to take advantage. So and these two quarterbacks have thrown double digit interceptions this year. So I feel like this is easily a game where they both throw an interception.
Okay. One of them, one that I liked was passing and receiving yards leader, Stafford and Cup, plus 225. Um, like I've said before, we've seen Stafford throw for more yards consistently in the playoffs, more than Burrow, and then obviously Cooper Kupp is he's leading the playoffs in receiving yards. So I figured, this is some good juice for this combination. Also, another one that I liked was Stafford first quarter touchdown pass plus 165. I think there's a good chance that they can score in the first quarter. And like I said before, Akers and Michelle, they haven't done anything really in the run game. And on top of that, I forgot to mention they haven't even scored a rushing touchdown in the playoffs. So all their touchdowns have been passing. So uh, that's another one for me that I liked a lot.
Yeah. So the next couple ones that I'm going to read off are so they're pre-made or pre-selected parlays that Bovada has. So they have a bunch of these different conditions that take place for a juiced up odds. You see these all the time on FanDuel Sportsbook, DraftKings Sportsbook. Same game. These are basically a bunch of same game parlays. So the first one I'm going to read off is Aaron Donald 1.5 plus sacks, and Von Miller over a half a sack plus 225. Given the problems that the Bengals offensive line has had and yielding sacks, giving up sacks, I think this is an easy one to cash on. Aaron Donald. The Bengals offensive line hasn't faced anybody as good as Aaron Donald all season long, and the Von Miller is pretty much kind of having a little bit of a resurgence. He's had a couple of sacks over the last couple of games. Plus 225 for this prop. I think it's an easy smash. The next one I have is Joe Burrow sacked 5+ times, Matthew Stafford 270 plus passing yards, Cooper Kupp over 100 reception yards and a touchdown, and Evan McPherson 8+ kicking points. So that's basically 2 field goals and maybe 2 extra points. And the odds on that is plus 800. And I definitely like this one for many reasons that we stated previously. The Bengals offensive line having issues, Burrow getting sacked a lot, Matthew Stafford throwing for a lot of yards. He threw for over 300 yards in the last game. Cooper Kupp is on pace for to set an NFL record for receptions in a postseason, and his yardage total is ridiculous already. And he's already has 4 touchdowns in the postseason, so him scoring a touchdown should be nothing. And then Evan McPherson has just been a machine for the Bengals, just making every single field goal that he just kicked that he attempts over and over and over. So the odds on this one is plus 800, and I like this one a lot as well.
So to go back on the Tee Higgins train, I had Tee Higgins catches the first pass for the Bengals for 225. That was one of the specialty props that they had. I like that one a lot. I don't know. I just have a feeling that maybe he'll be the one that catches the pass first for their team. Another one was OBJ over 100 and a half receiving yards, and that was plus 300. It was it adjusted like an alternate total for him. I like the juice on that one because like I've said before, I feel like the passing game is going to be funneled to him and Cooper Kupp. So I mean, they both have a great chance to go over 100 yards for this game if they don't look to really utilize somebody like Van Jefferson or use Cam Akers in the passing game. So I like that one also. Another one was will there be a flea flicker attempted in the game, and that one is yes for plus 245.
Wow.
So I like that juice. Like I said at the beginning, this is the last game of the season, so teams are gonna try anything, everything, to get some kind of momentum, because these are just one of them games where momentum is everything. I mean, you can go to the example of the 28-3 game, Falcons versus Patriots. They just in that third quarter, just they scored 1, and then you saw 2, and then 3, and just momentum. So I feel like that's definitely one that's a good fun one that could possibly hit. So
yeah, cool. Yeah, those are some really good ones. Like that flea flicker one, I might have to go ahead and when we're off this when we're off the show, I might have to go ahead and plug that one in. So the last two I have are relative long shots, and this is kind of one of those Bovada parlays, one of those pre-made parlays. But the first one is 5+ successful field goals. Matthew Stafford over 300 yards passing, and Tee Higgins to score a touchdown at plus 1,400. And this is on Bovada. Both of these kickers kick a lot of field goals. They've kicked a lot of field goals throughout the postseason. Matt Gay for the Rams, McPherson for the Bengals, as we mentioned earlier. 5 field goals between the two doesn't seem like that doesn't seem that far fetched to me. I feel like both of these teams, they do settle for a lot of field goals. If there's like an individual prop for McPherson, I definitely take the over on whatever his. If it's 2.5 or 1.5 or whatever the case is, I may take the over on that individually. But 5 field goals between these two teams, I mean, it's pretty attainable. And Matthew Stafford, his pass volume has been pretty high, this postseason. So throwing for 300 yards, he can do that in his sleep.
Yeah.
He
Hey,
can do
just
that
to
in his sleep.
piggyback off of McPherson on Prize Picks, they have field goals made. His prop is 1.5 over
Oh my
under.
God. What?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's crazy. That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely needed to dabble in that when we get off of
Mm,
here.
yeah.
And then also,
Yeah.
oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah. So that's kind of a long shot, but this is probably the long shot of all long shots. The one that I chose at least. So this next one is Joe Burrow, 275 plus pass yards. The game total over 47.5 points. The Bengals winning margin between 1 and 13 points, and Jamar Chase over 100 receiving yards, and the odds on that is plus 2,000. Plus
Wow.
2,000.
I
Um,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, anything with a lot of juice like that, man. I mean, you got to throw a little something at it, right? I mean, it just
Yeah,
kind of makes sense for you to do it. All these
throw a little
conditions.
20 on it.
If because especially if you think the Bengals are going to win the game,
Yeah.
you should be pretty damn confident in this particular parlay. Plus 2,000. That is juice. That is like
Yeah.
that's juice that's worth the squeeze.
Yeah, that definitely is.
That is worth the squeeze if you think the Bengals are going to win. I think the Bengals are going to win the game. I'm definitely going to bet on that one as well. That's one
Yeah.
prop that I had circled for sure. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
do like that. All right, so my last one that I had was who will record the first sack of the game, and I put Leonard Fournette plus 550.
you mean
Um,
Leonard Floyd.
yeah, Leonard Floyd. Why did I say? Yeah, Leonard Floyd plus 550. I don't know. I like the juice for that. Like I said before, I think the Rams rushing the quarterback is going to be active. And he's definitely one of them people that can get Joe Shiesty on his back. Now to circle back to Prize Picks, I just noticed that they even on here they even got like fourth down conversions allowed. I like this one. They have the Rams at 1, and then the Bengals at a half. So
Hmm.
that's something to think about. You got first downs allowed. You got the Rams at 20.5, Bengals at 22.5. They even got they even got quarterback hits. Rams
Wow.
defense with 6, Bengals defense with 5.
Taking the over on the
Yeah,
Rams defense. Take the over on the
yeah,
Rams
man.
defense.
Yeah,
They're gonna get to Burrow.
I like these, man. I need to. They even got sacks, so they got the Rams defense sacks for 3.5, the Bengals defense at 2. So you got Leonard Floyd at like half, Trey Hendrickson at 0.75, Sam Hubbard at 0.25, Aaron Donald at 1. So I mean, like we said before, like there's a lot of bets. I mean, Prize Picks. I've never seen. They even got like gross punt yards on Prize Picks.
Yeah,
Longest gross punt yards. Like they're definitely trying to take advantage of the props that could be associated with the Super Bowl. So look at all options possible, and try to find some kind of sharp play that they might not be thinking about. But I mean, you can have fun with some of these for
yeah,
sure.
definitely. Definitely. This is the last, the last meaningful football game of the season. So,
Yep.
go out, go all out, go hard or go home, man.
Yeah.
These are the ones that we're looking at. Now, obviously we're not going to bet every single one of these because we'd be broke. So, but these are just ones that we just kind of we look we set our eyes on, and we feel like it may be worth you guys potentially betting them, or because we're definitely going to take a look at a couple of these. But yeah, it's going to be a very going to be a very fun game, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. Shoot, they even got quarterback rating on here. So, yeah, like Ike said,
Wow.
yeah. So there's definitely something for everybody in terms of betting wise. Um, before we get up out of here, just to preview what we're going to be doing next week, we're going to be touching on impact free agents. And we're going to talk about like fantasy wise, what's that going to look like? Maybe the potential fantasy landing spots. So just get ready as we fully get engaged into the off season of fantasy. We're going to be touching on things like this: position tiers, the draft, dynasty holds and buys and things of that nature. So stay tuned in with us. Stay tuned in with the Destination David Radio Network with 4D Chess, with Ray, and I can't with Ray in the morning, wake up in the morning, Elite Seekers, get tapped in with the Patreon where we have a bunch of things getting ready for the draft. So stay on your toes and in front of your league mates for the following season.
Yeah, keep it
You
locked,
got
man.
anything
Keep it
else?
locked. Yeah,
You got
just
anything else before we get out?
yeah, follow the show at Off the Line FF on Twitter. Yeah, man. Like I said, it's gonna be a fun game. Good luck to everyone. If you had any Bengals futures, congratulations and good luck to
Yeah,
you. If you have any
congrats.
Rams futures, congratulations and good luck. Hopefully, you guys cash. Hopefully, we had a lot of actionable content for you guys to potentially take advantage and make some money this weekend on the Super Bowl. Last game of the year, you got all kinds of bets. Just choose wisely. That's all I got to say.
Yep.
Choose wisely.
Yep.
Have fun and good luck.
Yep. Have fun. Be safe at the same time, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Until next week.
Peace out.